Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, the podcast. This is episode 102. We have some stuff to discuss today regarding Ken Griffey Jr. and is the real one hiding in witness protection? What happened to our boy? Because, sheesh, very clearly this card ain't good. And it, for the first time, I think ever, in the MLB The Show community, everybody's thought the same exact thing. Everybody was like, wow, what did they do to Ken Griffey Jr.? Like, it was across the board mutilating SDS. So before we get into the nuts and bolts of that, just so you guys know, I'm recording this on Sunday the 14th. I leave Monday the 15th for Ireland. I will be gone for 10 days, part work, part pleasure. I have pre-recorded an episode that you will hear on August 23rd, interviewed or had a great conversation with, more so than an interview, with our good friend Mecha Reptar. So episode 103 is already in the can. It's already scheduled. It's scheduled on your favorite podcast listening platform, scheduled on YouTube. So you guys will not be without me while I'm gone. Obviously, I won't be streaming because I'll be in Ireland. Twitch streams will come back upon my return, just in time for the Extreme program. So happy joy. Can't wait. Let's dive in here. So, if somehow you haven't seen Ken Griffey Jr. yet, I don't know where the fuck you've been. Maybe you've been in Ireland for 10 days. I don't know. This is what the card looks like. And for the people listening, of course, I will do my best to explain. It is a Second Half Heroes 1996 Ken Griffey Jr. card. The card art, kind of cool. Not that makes a fucking difference, but card art, kind of cool. This man, I don't even know where to begin, because almost all of it is terrible. Also, this is important to note. I get overtly negative quite a bit with a lot of these cards and their attributes and things like that, because we've all built up a certain expectation for what things should look like, especially now at this time of the year. 99s are starting to come out, clearly, because it's 99 Ken Griffey Jr. It's probably been about 2 weeks, maybe 3, that we've gotten a steady stream of 99s, constantly. I play online almost entirely. I just made World Series again on Saturday, so a couple days before you're listening to this. I'm a BR guy, but mostly what I play is on Hall of Fame, and the occasional Legend Disaster. So when I'm analyzing card attributes and cards' utility, I'm looking at things that are going to help me on Hall of Fame, or above. This Ken Griffey Jr. card, if you play All-Star, Veteran, Rookie, if you're an offline type of player, is fine. There is nothing incredibly wrong with this Ken Griffey Jr. card. I think any Ken Griffey Jr. card that's a 99 should be disgusting. But if you are a Veteran or an All-Star or below player, this card will be fine. So you can still, please, listen to what I'm about to say, but just know that when I analyze this, I'm analyzing it through a lens of a Hall of Fame player who's trying to find cards that will competitively help him get to World Series and potentially above. So first things first. Center field primary, obviously Ken Griffey Jr. 92 contact right. Ugh. 85 contact left. You could live with the 85 contact left if his powers were disgusting. Actually, he's not fucking terrible against lefties. He's just terrible overall, but not terrible against lefties because he has 115 power left. So 85 contact left, 115 power left is like, you at least could be like, if I get the PCI close to it, it'll go somewhere. But 92 contact right, 100 power right is just a travesty to Ken Griffey Jr. 75 vision, 85 discipline, 86 clutch. So they put a ton of attribute points, into discipline and clutch, which are virtually meaningless. Not entirely meaningless, but virtually meaningless. 92 durability, which is, I guess in 1996 he was durable, and it's sad to say this, but that man was not durable. 97 fielding is great, 96 reaction is great, 92 arm is great, 81 speed's actually kind of a little, 1996 Griffey probably would have been a little faster than that, but it's, whatever. My issues here. They have not committed to saying that all these big-time legends will get retro finest cards. That's my theory. I think I've said this before. I think in November, we're going to get the Finest program, which is going to give us cards like Finest Aaron Judge, Finest Shohei Ohtani, Finest, pick your team's best performer. Those are the type of cards we're going to get. If you're new to MLB The Show, they do this every year for the past 3 or 4 years. It's always the biggest, most bonkers content drop of the year. It's unfortunate that it happens in November, but that's just when the season is over. My theory is that after that program, they're going to give us a Retro Finest program in December. And in doing so, they would bring more people back to the game in December, but they'd also give us insanely disgusting, you've never fucking seen them as good before type of cards. Like Immortals, but hopefully not as shitty to grind. So, can I see Ken Griffey Jr. getting a 99 Retro Finest that is just ungodly good? Absolutely I can. The problem is that they have not communicated that that's happening, so there are a lot of people left to assume that this is the only 99 Ken Griffey Jr. card we're going to get. And again, it's not confirmed, so technically this could be the only 99 Ken Griffey Jr. card we're going to get. Again, Second Half Heroes is not a brand of card that gets a 99, so this card was never going to be incredible the second they gave it that second half branding. I would say it's about an 80 to 85% chance we are getting another 99 Ken Griffey Jr. There's no way they're going to hoe us like that. This is a card, this is a player, this is an athlete and a legend and an icon that literally makes people buy this game because they want to have fun using Ken Griffey Jr. So to give this just literally embarrassing display and distribution of attributes is rough. So my theory, I hope it comes sooner, but my theory is that in December, they're going to give us a Retro Finest program. That'd be super cool. I think October is going to be your postseason program. No shit. November is going to be your Finest program. December is going to be a Retro Finest program. Ken Griffey Jr. needs a card that's like 115's contact both sides, max power both sides, 99 in the field, 90 speed. That's the card he should have. I hope he gets it. But it's just, for them to hype up Griffey Day, and not Griffey Week this time, Griffey Day on Friday, and then to fucking drop these attributes and not think it was hysterical that it looks so bad, shit look for SDS. This has been a bad week for SDS. Not good. By the way, this is a little plug for the next episode. Mecha Reptar and I talked a lot about a lot of the drama going on in the MLB Show community. So, if you want all of my unencumbered thoughts on that, you'll have to come back next week. That's called expert marketing. Alright, so the point of this episode, again, if you play All-Star or below, this Ken Griffey Jr. is fine. But we're going to look at other outfield cards just to say how many are better than Ken Griffey Jr. And I am going to make a little checklist here. Not of names, but of how many we deem are better than Ken Griffey Jr. Now, another important thing to note, everybody looks at cards differently. And some people are like, I want higher contact. I want higher power. I need him to be able to field. So we're going to try to balance that out and take a very just unbiased look at cards that are probably more viable for one reason or another than Ken Griffey Jr. As you'll see on my screen here, we've put all commons on this lineup. The only diamond player we have is Ken Griffey Jr. in center field. That is just so when we easily click on him, we can make a basis of comparison to all the other outfielders. Now, another important thing to note. I am putting Ken Griffey Jr. in center field and shifting the toggle over to secondary center field. It's up to you how you align your outfield, but we're really mostly just looking at the hitting. The fielding is use your own discretion, all right? But we're just going to try to look at the hitting. So the first one right off the bat, Ken Griffey Sr., the Retro Finest, dropped the same exact day. I'm not saying Ken Griffey Sr. is more usable than Ken Griffey Jr., but the fact that it is even worth consideration is appalling. Absolutely fucking appalling. So, Ken Griffey Sr. kind of nice. Really, really high contacts. At P5, he gets to 75 power right, 70 power left, which is a little but not terrible. Excuse me as I yawn. It's been a long day with packing all day and doing laundry, preparing for Ireland. If you're going to go overseas, I recommend you prepare much further in advance than I am. 96 speed at P5. It's not a fucking bad card. It's just, I'm going to put him down on this list. I'm going to put a check mark for Ken Griffey Sr. Why? Because the fact that we're even thinking about it shows you how shitty this Ken Griffey Jr. card is. Giancarlo Stanton. Hitting-wise, absolutely. He is a fucking dog shit fielder. So we're going to be fair and realistic here. We're not putting Stanton as a viable outfielder over Griffey Jr. But, much better hitter. Roberto Clemente, absolutely. I would still use 99 Roberto Clemente over Griffey Jr. Home Run Derby Juan Soto, absolutely. Minnie Minoso. I mean, technically, if we're putting Griffey Sr., we should be putting Minoso, right? Let's do an apples to apples on that. Minnie has more power. No, we're not going to do that. Okay. That was a good experiment. Minnie Minoso is not better. Cody Bellinger. So, look at Cody Bellinger's display here, and if you can't look, I will speak. Contact right, virtually the same. Contact left is better for Bellinger. Power right, better for Bellinger. Power left, better for Griffey, but it's a wash at 115 to 111. Bellinger is faster. Bellinger is similar in the field at his primary. He's okay. Arm strength is better. Cody Bellinger, 98 Silver Slugger, or 98 Rookie of the Year, rather, is a better card. 98, better than Ken Griffey Jr. Andrew Benintendi, absolutely not. Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant, hitting-wise, is much better. Not in the field, though. Babe Ruth, absolutely. This Bryce Harper. Speed, 69, nice. Fielding, no, Bryce Harper's not. Soto's not. Stan Musial's not. Gary Anderson's not. Soriano is a better card than Ken Griffey Jr. Let me tell you why. Contact's obviously better. Power left versus power right. Power left is 115 for Griffey, 108 for Soriano. Griffey gets the edge, but that's almost a wash. 100 power right for Griffey, 91 power right for Soriano. Almost a wash. Soriano is faster. In his primary, is fine in the field. Yeah, I'd rather play Soriano. I would. I honestly rather would. And now listen, Griffey's swing is elite. It's immaculate. It is one of a kind. That will, technically speaking, give him an edge over some of these, like, iffy choices here. But the important thing to note here is we are comparing attributes as far as viability goes, okay? Starling Marte. No, but good card. Larry Walker doesn't count. Who the fuck is this? Jorge Mateo. I forgot about this card. This Jorge Mateo is kind of nice. So I just went 12 with this sidebar. I went 12-1 in BR today. Took Mike Messina out of the pack, by the way. And I had Supercharged Jorge Mateo. That card was disgusting. Absolutely gross. That's a yawn again. You know what? No, it'd be really ballsy of me to say this Jorge Mateo is better. But this Jorge Mateo is fucking close. This Jorge Mateo is good. Nick Swisher, no. Brujan, no. Yastrzemski, no. Valera, no. Reggie, no. Mookie Betts is a yes. I'd rather use 95 Mookie Betts than Ken Griffey Jr. I got something in my fucking mouth. Dog hair, probably. We gave the dog a bath today. If you like hair all over your house, I recommend giving your dog a bath because their hair's fucking everywhere. This Acuna. Home Run Derby Acuna. The fielding's a little lackluster, but hitting-wise, yeah. I'd rather use Home Run Derby Acuna. Rather use Kirk Gibson, the 94 overall MVP. Ralph Kiner's hitting attributes are disgusting, but this card just sucks. Jim Rice, no. This David Justice is kind of nasty, too, but no. No. James Outman? I don't even know who the fuck this guy is and how he has a card. Shohei, no. Fernando Tatis put steroid needles in his butt, so no. Lives years Acuna. Wow, he's gotten butchered. I guess he hasn't hit for much power this year, huh? All right, I think we're probably approaching the point where it ain't happening. All right, let's look at primary center fielders now. I did secondary center fielders first. Let's look at primaries. 99 Riley Green. Abso-fucking-tootly. This 99 Riley Green is a disgusting card. So that's now, if you keep it count, that is now 10 players I'd rather use over Griffey Jr. Griffey Jr. should have been a top 3 outfielder in the game. It's 10 I've already counted that are better. 99 Al Kaline, if you look at the attributes, is technically better. So he's going on the list. His swing is dog water, and he's really just a bench bat. But Kaline goes on the list. McCutchen is obviously on this list. Grady Sizemore. Grady Sizemore kind of sucks too. We're not going to put Grady Sizemore. Home Run Derby J-Rod. Absolutely. All-Star J-Rod? No. Aaron Judge. No. Contact's too low. Buxton. Kind of stinky. Buxton, no. Milestone Cedric Mullins. Not my cup of tea, but yes. Robert Hassel is in this conversation. 15. George Springer. Yeah, George Springer. Hannes Wagner. No power. Jason Dominguez, yes. Guys, I know this might sound a little boring, but this is just really showing you in a very granular way how shitty this card is. Austin Martin. Kinda. I don't necessarily like Austin Martin, but yeah. No, Brian Reynolds. Yeah, switch hitting Brian Reynolds, player of the month. Yes. Duke Snyder, no. Pete Crow Armstrong. Yeah, I'd rather use I love Pete Crow Armstrong. But look, he's insane. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not just looking at who has more green check marks. You know how when you compare a player, there's the green check marks down below? That's not what we're doing here. I'm just looking at the stats at a side-by-side. I don't want you guys to think I'm strictly going off that. 93 Ketel Marte. Absolutely. Absolutely. Live series Mike Trout. Absolutely. I think we're getting to the point where it's mostly caca now. But I just want to be thorough here. Just want to be thorough. Face of the franchise. Acuna, no. No. No, no. This Lou Bob was... 90 face of the franchise. Luis Robert was a ton of fun. Okay. So, that was 5, 10, 15, 20, 22. There are 22 outfield cards based on attribute distribution that are better than Ken Griffey Jr., in my opinion. You might think I'm an idiot, which I very, very likely am. Again, the deciding factor here is the swing of Ken Griffey Jr. is certainly a lot better, so in that respect, he might be more viable for you. But because swings are not universally beloved, whereas attributes are universally utilized, I'm not going to knock off a lot of these players. I'm not going to instantly elevate Griffey to the top 10 because not everybody likes his swing. I think a lot of people do, as they should, because it's a great swing. But we can't just across the board assume everybody does. Ken Griffey Jr. should have been my new left fielder. Maybe even center fielder, putting McCutchen in left. Instead, I still have Austin Riley fucking meandering around out there in left field. It says 72 speed and 83 reaction, and I promise you, it's not. This man is slower than fuck. He is insanely impossible to use in left field. We're making it work because there aren't many better options right now. But the disgust that I experienced when Ken Griffey Jr. wasn't what he should have been. That is like... So the content this year across the board, guys, has been like an A minus. It's been excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. They've done so well with the content. But that one fuck up, or at least that lack of communication as to why they did what they did, that's a huge content drop. I don't mean drop as in here's all your new content. I mean like decrease in content value and the way they're doing it. That Griffey card is now 2 years in a row. We either got a Griffey way too late or it's stuck. Last year we didn't get Griffey until, what, December? As a collection? SDS has had a rough week. And SDS hopefully can use this as a learning experience. Or they'll just go, LOL, everybody, you're all fucking idiots. We were always going to give you a Retro Finest Griffey. It was just going to be on our terms. Retro Finest is new this year. It's awesome. I love it. McCutchen and George Brett are insane. As are pitchers. Zach Greinke, love him. Al Leiter, love him. Houston Street, he's great. But, like, I would have loved communication as to how they're going to utilize Retro Finest. Because clearly they've already started to give us some, and they're cracked. We know that they're going to be the most cracked versions of these legends. I'm assuming so anyway, based on what we've seen so far. So what's the plan, guys? What's the plan, Ramon? Like, should we expect now, is Jackie Robinson now going to get a Retro Finest? Or is the All-Star card his best card? Is David Ortiz going to get a Retro Finest? Or is his Prime card the best card? Mike Napoli's not a great example because he's not exactly a legend. Is Randy Johnson about to get a Retro Finest next to his Signature Series card? How about Nolan Ryan next to his Milestone? Mike Messina next to his Takashi? Like, I understand not everybody has to have the same exact stuff. You know, just because McCutcheon gets a Retro Finest doesn't mean Randy needs to get a Retro Finest. But what is the best version of the card? What is the best version of the player going to be? There's just a lot of confusion with that right now. And again, I think Retro Finest is an awesome addition. I think content overall, on the whole, is still probably like a BB+. But I just need you to tell me something, Ramon. Or chat. Listeners, if you guys know, you fucking tell me. Ken Griffey Jr. was disappointing. I hope you guys can find some joy in grinding for him. And if you love him, I'm truly very happy that you got a Griffey you could use. I'm waiting for the day that I'll get one. Ken Griffey Jr. is one of my favorite players of all time. Ken Griffey Jr. is a legend. When I was little, I literally wore my hat backwards because I saw him wearing my hat backwards. Over time, I just learned that my face looks a lot better when I wear a hat backwards as opposed to forwards. But that was like the inspiration for it at the start. Ken Griffey Jr. needs to not be hoed. He needs some justice. So, free Ken Griffey. Free him, SDS, from your clutches of despair and oppression. And give me a card I could fuck baseballs with. Guys, really short episode, or mildly short. Like I said, I'm literally going to go to bed in like an hour and a half to wake up at 4 a.m. for a flight. So, wanted to make sure I got you guys content. I promise you guys that I would not be skipping weeks. And the fact that I recorded early for next week, you guys should be very proud of me. Thank you guys for listening. I will be back from Ireland when I get back, and more content will be coming. All right? Talk to you guys next week. Be well.